Hi everybody, my name is Jessy and thank you so much for joining me today. Hands up, how many of you have ever been in a horrible workplace situation? I know it's not a secret, you know that I have, but I don't know if you know this, but I've actually been in quite a few terrible workplace situations. I wanted to share with you some situations that I have found myself in and also how you can move on from those situations. I started to work as a babysitter, I think, at like 14, 15 years old, and I actually had my first ever real employment was at the Early Learning Centre. And actually, I would say that was one of the best work experiences I ever had in my life. I had some really great colleagues. I was incredibly young. They really taught me a lot and were so, how do I say this? Were so willing to teach me the ways of the world. I did a lot of cleaning work. I did dog walking. I tried everything because the thing is with me, I'm still this way now, I really love learning. I didn't want to stick with one thing when I wanted to learn a lot of things. I've had good work experience, but I feel like there was a big shift all of a sudden when I was at university and starting to work. Another experience that I had was I was working, and I don't want to name names for the company of this, but I was working at a place. I was a student at the time. I was working part-time but pretty much doing full-time hours. During my training, I was being trained by one of the assistant managers, and this alarm started going off, and she had said to me, don't worry about it, it will turn off eventually. So the quickest way I can tell you this story is that one day she wasn't working, and I was there with another assistant manager plus the manager, plus because there was a visit by, I don't know, what do you call the big honcho, the lead person for the company, and he was doing visits on all their branches when this alarm started going off. And I said very boldly, very confidently, don't worry about that alarm, it will go off eventually. And this was heard by the assistant manager and the manager, who both was like, what are you talking about? And basically I got questioned about, why I said that. So I said, I learned it in training, and then I started to feel like, oh no, I think I've slipped up and I'm really not a tattletale. However, I did find out that alarm did mean that there was a leak that was happening. A few weeks went by, and I had noticed that my assistant manager had gotten very distant with me, and it wasn't until I was sat in the staff room and a new staff member came along and we were talking, and at the end of lunch he had turned to me and went, Jessy, you're actually a really nice person. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then as a joke, I was like, why do you say that? Like, you didn't think I was a nice person? And he said, oh, it's not that, it's just that the assistant manager talks a lot about you and says what an evil person you are, and just like saying all this. So I turned to her and I asked her about it. I don't like feeling like I've upset someone, so I always like to have an opportunity to be able to right my wrong. So I asked her, what have I done to upset you? And she tried to deny that she was upset with me. So I said, look, I'm really sorry for whatever I've done, but I can't do anything unless you tell me. And she again insisted I'd done nothing wrong, but this time was a lot angrier. And in the end I said, look, this person has told me what you said. Why do you think this? Like, what have I done? And that's when she admitted that she had been given a warning. She was given a warning basically because of what she had told me about the alarm and how dangerous it was, and how it basically went against her responsibility as an assistant manager. I think at this moment I defended myself because she got very confrontational and up my face. I tried to move it away from her, and she basically grabbed my wrists and slammed it down on the counter. And a few customers had come in, but either way she locked her door and was basically screaming at me, shouting and telling me how terrible I was, and at one point just slapped me in the face because I had said something out of line. I was like, you're scaring me, like you're crazy. And she basically slapped me in the face, and I started crying at this point. And I managed to escape from her. Like, I left the customers there. I managed to escape her clutches, and I went home that day, and I didn't have to work the next day. The manager, so like the main manager of the store, called me, and he pretty much was like, I'm not saying you're lying, but I don't believe you, because she's not that kind of person. I just felt like he completely diminished any feelings or trauma that I had experienced from that moment. And so I just told him, okay, well, that's fine, but you need to watch the CCTV then, because that's the kicker in all of this. So he went away, and I didn't hear from him for a little while. Then a few hours later, he called me back and he said this. Now, I can't say it's word for word, but it is close to. It was like, listen, in reality, this isn't your career forever, whereas this might be the career forever for this assistant manager. She's been here for years and years. If she gets fired, she loses any type of pension, and that will ruin her life. And he was like, do you really want to ruin someone's life for a career for a job that you're only going to have probably for a few months? But it was just those words. Are you really willing to ruin someone's career or someone's life for a job you're not going to have for very long? And it felt very much like it minimized what I had been through and what I was feeling. That on top of the fact that he had initially thought I was lying anyway. So moving forwards from that, I had a few gigs that were great and were fun, and they were fine. At first I had really great management, and I really thrived, and I really enjoyed myself. And then I experienced some body shaming and discrimination. It's painful to be told that you're too fat for your job. It's painful to be told that you need to lose weight and then be monitored in how you intend to lose weight. It's very, very painful to be afraid to get to a point where you think about taking your own life, because you're told that no one else will want to work with you, that no one else will ever think you're good enough. And then when they decided to try and get me fired, they reported me to occupational health, and I tried to hide what was happening, and in the end broke down. It was a really toxic place, and it really broke me as a person. And if I told you right now that I'm over it, I'm lying. But you know, I could go on and on about various stories, but I thought I'd shared some pretty strong ones with you today. But not because I wanted to depress you or make you feel sad or make you feel bad, because I wanted to tell you that many of us have gone through some terrible workplaces. I wanted to share with you that despite what negativity you've experienced, there are going to be companies out there who are going to be amazing and who are going to really appreciate the talent you have. Don't give up. The way you can move on is to remember that shit happens, life happens, but you are strong and you can handle it. But we can get through it, and I just want you to know that it is not that it's normal, but it happens. It happens to the best of us. My friend / mentor / old manager shared with me this thought: nobody leaves a job, people leave managers. And I truly believe that. And that's why I so badly hope that one day I can get my brain together to think of a company so that I can show you and I can show everybody else that good management will result in happy, thriving staff. And what's that going to do for our profits? Skyrocket. Why? Because my people are going to work so darn hard, because they know that when they need to be supported, they will get that support. Because I think that what makes a successful leader is somebody who can help someone else discover their true passion and their true dreams. There are workplaces that are good and are honest and will care about you. So please try not to take this setback as a permanent thing. It was a moment in your life that was set to challenge you and strengthen you, to remind you exactly what you love and exactly how much you're worth. Don't listen to the people who tell you that you are less than you are, because you know what? It's coming from a place of insecurity. Do not let someone take away your shine just to make themselves shine. Hold on to the power and your ability to be proud and happy of yourself. Be confident and trust that these bad moments aren't going to last forever. But you know what will? Your resilience. So please be strong. If you need to, surround yourself with positive people. Talk to me, talk to your friends, talk to your family. Join us at the Emotion Exchange. You're always welcome. I promise you that we have no judgment. We do not ask any unreasonable questions. We just want to make sure that you are okay. So, have a good day. As always, be kind to yourself, and I will be seeing you later. Bye.